Hello everybody and welcome to another Yes Japan Daily. This is Yes Japan Daily number 100. That's it. That's the exciting one. 100. Finally made it all this way. And I'm in a sort of a mixed mood today. Because today has been one of the most fun days I have had in at least a week. And I only say that because the week before was another happy day. Really happy day. Today's topic is keeping momentum. And I kind of thought it was going to be jovial fun, but now I'm in this deep mode of thinking. And I was just sort of reflecting on today. And today, there was a weird point in the day. I had Purum come over, and Purum is my Korean helper girl. I have no other name for it. She's my Korean friend, and very, very new friend. We've only met twice. She comes to the office. We'll typically have lunch, and then we'll study some Korean, and then she records some sounds for me in Korean because I'm studying and I'm also building KoreanFromZero.com. And I need those sounds. But today, it started out, and I think you'll understand this as learners of Japanese, that you have this desire to really, really jump through things fast. I mean, it burns. It burns so passionately in me, like I can feel the fire, I want to speak Korean, insert your language, right? You want to speak Japanese. And it's extremely frustrating because you can't. And you think if you thought hard enough you could do it, but you can't sometimes. And so today I gave Purum some homework, because me and Purum have a weird relationship, because she's not really teaching me. I'm telling her to teach me, and I'm telling her what to teach me. I'm creating the class as we go. She's not actively thinking, although she did say at the end of our session today, I know what you want now, and I'm going to come back with something. Like, she's starting to understand me as a person. But I've been saying, what is this, what is this, what is this? And I'll go like, okay, now I get it. It's that kind of a thing. And I've been directing it. So it's sort of a weird relationship in that aspect. And I think because of that, because I'm directing my own lessons, I think I was too aggressive in thinking I could do really, really fast. At least I thought that. So today I came in and I had given her this homework to do. It's weird because she's the teacher. I'm giving her homework. And her homework is like, I write down some words that I like to know and some phrases. And I give her certain phrases and words knowing that I know the pattern I'm looking for in the speech. Matter of fact, there's something weird that happens when you get to that second language of learning. And this is my second. You start really looking at similarities and you go, whoa. And then you start desiring the thing. Like, if you guys already know another language, like let's say you know French and English, you're desiring certain things in French in Japanese. You want that certain one piece of grammar that you use all the time and you're looking for it. Well, I'm doing the same thing in Korean. And I started out today with verbs with that homework, and I got very disappointed because the patterns weren't there that I was looking for. They just didn't exist. I wasn't seeing them. It's like maybe they were there, but I was blind to it. I think this happens. And I was like confused. And she tried to help, and it didn't help initially. And this isn't what I want to talk about. This is not what I wanted to talk about today. So this might be a longer daily than normal. But you know what? It's number 100, and I think I deserve a little bit of time to talk. All right. So, and maybe you'll get something out of it. So I said, you know what? I need to step back. Sometimes when you're learning a language, you have to step back. And when I mean step back, I don't mean look at the big picture. I mean literally go back to a more basic lesson. Because there's something fundamental that you need, and I've realized it. Everyone needs success in learning the language. You need to feel like you have done something. And if you jump too far too fast, you're just setting yourself up to fall. It's okay to fall, but I'll tell you what, most people don't get up from that fall. They don't. You know, I look at data, right? I run Yes Japan now for maybe 14 years or so. And there's data that says most people end in course 1. That's it. Most people buy book 1. That's it. Why hasn't it been this big priority in my life to put out book 4 and 5? The data doesn't really show that it will be the huge seller that people like to tell me that they think it will be. I mean, I think it's going to do great. It's a great book. But when you compare the amount of people that can buy a level 1 book versus who will buy a level 4 book, the numbers are fractions different. Because people give up. They stumble 2 or 3 times and they stop. Or they feel like they're not making progress and they stop. So I stepped back. I stepped back today. And I went back to something I realized I hadn't even gotten to. And I'll tell you what, man. Learning Korean has opened up so many insights for me personally. Not only personally, but as a teacher, it's opened up so many insights. I mean, real simple things. Like, for example, these are the flashcards that I used to give in our classes for Yes Japan. I mean, they're too freaking small. I hate them. I never used these flashcards until today. 10 years or more after I created them. And we don't sell these anymore because I didn't like them for other reasons. But they're too small. Those are little things. So I stepped back and I went back to the it's a dog. I still hadn't figured that out in Korean. And there will be a little bit of Korean maybe in this episode. Just because I had an amazing day with Korean. I mean, I think it's appropriate for the day that and by the way, I wasn't planning on shooting the 100th episode today. I was going to wait a couple days. But I think it's appropriate that I had a great day on the 100th day, because I feel like I deserved a little bit, right? That's sort of my present, So I went back and I was looking at just it's a this or it's a that. And then I realized, okay, I don't even know the basic things, right? Like, how do you say nose? How do you say nose in Korean? I don't know. It's ko, nun, ip, mori, kui, I, or chia, or sometimes they say ipal, which means fangs. And by the way, what I just did, son, songara, fingers. What I just did, I've done at least 10 times today. I keep repeating myself because I know that that's how you learn. You keep repeating yourself. The chances of me getting that into my long-term memory without repeating it, impossible. I can't say it once. As a matter of fact, I know half the things I learned today I probably will have to relearn again. And you guys learn in Japanese? Listen. This is my second language. I'm going to tell you what. I remember doing the same thing for Japanese, and I remember forgetting things. And you can't, let me get through some of the words because some of these words are exactly what I wanted to talk about. But first of all, it is the 100th time. And the way you say that in Japanese is 100 Notice that the hyaku gets formed into the kai. It kind of melts in. It's not hyaku kai, it's 100 100 And that me is how you take any counter and make it into a ranked item. 100th time. 100 100th time. What does that mean? 100 times. Think about it. I think the first daily was in December or January. I don't remember. I think it was December. Matter of fact, you know what? It was January. Let's say it was 10 months ago. Because it's October now. And let's just say it takes me 2 hours to do a daily with prep work and other things. And plus, I haven't just been doing the dailies. I've also done 60 Ask a Teachers and 30 Ego Eggs and 14 or 13 Korean from Zeros, right? It's 200 hours minimum over 10 months. Divide 10 months. How many hours is that in a month? I didn't do the work, but I'm going to say it's 20. 20 hours. Did I do the work? I didn't do the work. It's 20 hours in a month. That matches, right? Just 20 hours. Now divide that into a week. let's say there's an average of 4 weeks, even though there's actually sometimes 4.5, right, in a month. So 4 hours a week. And in 10 months, it equals 100 hours. Why am I saying that? Because so much, listen, I know there are great people out there that just, man, they achieve everything all the time. And they're hearing this and going, do I got to hear this again? Because I feel like I do this every fifth, at least, daily. But this is what I hear a lot. あんまり勉強してない。あんまり勉強してない。I haven't studied a lot. あんまり勉強してない。But you could have studied easily 4 hours a week. That's not even 30 minutes every day, is it? Yes, it is. 30 minutes every day would make it 3.5 hours for the week. But you'd probably, let's say you went an hour, you could do 7 hours. 7 hours a week. And in 10 months, you'd have 28 times 10, 280 hours. Easy. 280 hours. Well, you know what that would mean? You'd be 10th of the way there in just 10 months. So if you would have started realistically putting your effort towards Japanese 10 months ago, you'd only have 90% more to go. That seems like a long way, right? 90% more. I don't even know what that number means. And I'll show you where I got that number later. But look at this thing. Today I don't have the daily sign up because I really want you to know. A year from now, you will have wished you had started today. This is a famous saying that I happened to see the other day and I loved it. And it's by some lady named Karen Lamb. I don't know who she is. But whatever she does, she's got some insight, right? So if you had started 10 months ago and just spent 4 hours, I promise you, you would be speaking some Japanese. You could read and write hiragana, katakana, and maybe 80 kanji. Dare I say, you could have been through books 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, if 4 and 5 existed yet. But you could have been through the entire Guess Japan. I know people have done it in 6 months. But some of you didn't. But that's okay. That is 100% okay. The worst thing you can do is have feelings of guilt. Zaiyaku-kan. Zaiyaku-kan. Because the feelings of guilt make you do it not even more. You feel like you have failed. You didn't fail. You did not fail if you didn't study very much in the last 10 months. You just didn't study that much in the last 10 months. I didn't study in the last month and a half, even though I went on a video, Korean from Zero, and said, I'm going to kick some ass this month, and I didn't kick any ass. I didn't even kick a pinky. I just didn't. I was too tired. I was too busy. I didn't make time. I didn't set a goal, and I didn't go through with that goal. I set a goal, but then I didn't set the sub-goals to make the goal happen. I just didn't do it. Do I regret it? Nope. Because what I did today and last week makes up for it, in my opinion. Because I'm moving forward now. The only time you're going to feel guilty is when you're not moving forward. So if you want to erase feelings of guilt and feelings like you're not moving forward in Japanese, start doing it. It is not easy. It is not. You wanted me to say it's easy there, but it's not. Because it requires effort. And if you want to live like no one else, I'm sure you've heard this somewhere before, you have to work hard like no one else. I'll tell you, I'm in this room, this very room, for the last 9 days. I've been here until about 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. Granted, I sleep later in the day, so that doesn't really count. But I've spent on my goals, not Korean, by the way, because Korean is a goal, but I've got other goals ahead of that. My goal right now is book 4. But I took the time, and you need to take the time. It's not some movie montage until you're done with it all, right? I'm going to learn Japanese. You tell all your friends you're going to learn Japanese, then you don't actually put the time in to study it all by yourself in your room alone. For example, I have not studied this book that I bought that was highly recommended to me by a friend. I have not even opened it. There, I opened it. My bad. But I'm gonna commit to studying this every day. Here I am making another commitment. And guess what? If I fail, I fail. Man, I'm way off topic. I'm sorry, I'm way off topic. I think I just want you to know. I think the important thing I want you to know is it's okay to fail. You will fail. Build it into your plans. You will forget at least 1 out of every 3 words that you learn, and that will never change even when you're fluent. I forget words all the time still in Japanese, and I stumble over them, right? Another thing I realized today, because I said all these words, right, to my friend Purum, and she said, I understand what you're saying. I can't do her accent. It's really cute, though. I understand what you're saying, but you sound Japanese. Good. I guess that's a good thing, right? At least I don't sound American, right? I'm at least an hour away by airplane, right? And you know what? This is a big problem, and I realized it today. 発音が恥ずかしい. I'm embarrassed. Let me hold it up there for you guys that are taking notes. 発音が恥ずかしい. I'm actually embarrassed to say the Korean sound all full blown out because I don't want to mess it up, right? And I realized that. I was like, you know what? I realized this today. I am embarrassed to say the sound. And maybe some of you are embarrassed about sounding Japanese. I get it. It's sort of weird. It's not you. You're acting. And a lot of people are not good actors or actresses. It's just awkward. It's like, 안녕하세요, right? Or, konnichiwa. 도모 arigatou gozaimashita. It's weird. Especially if you've never done it before. It's really weird. But I've said this before. Don't worry about the accent. Because the accent's only a problem if you speak Korean or Japanese, right? The accent's only a problem if you speak with an accent. If you don't speak the language, the accent's not a problem. Step 1, acquire language skills. Step 2, improve your accent. Those are the steps. It's not step 1, get a good accent while acquiring skills. You can't. Because this is weird. Now, the minute after Purum said that, I slowed down tremendously. I remember, it was like this. It was like, especially face, man. Face is like an evil word in Korean. It's like, Japanese, it's kao. Very, very easy, right? In Korean, it's, and I have notes, I wrote my notes here on the back, all right? In Korean, it's, I really struggle to say it. It's 얼굴, 얼굴. I might be wrong. And that, for me, is embarrassing. That phrase is hard. 얼굴. It sounds Russian or something. I don't know if I'm doing it right. And so I hold back. 얼굴. I should just say it. 얼굴. And more times I will hear it when I know the language and I'll get better. All right? So don't be embarrassed. I mean, you can't stop it, but don't worry about it. Move on. I'm giving you permission right now to don't worry about the accent. Especially Japanese. Oh my gosh. Japanese is so easy. It is so easy. This is what's really great about learning Korean. I realized Japanese is easy. I mean the accent. A, I, U, E, O, kaki, kuke, ko, gagi, guge, go, mami, mu, memo, papi, pu, pepo, babi, bu, bebo, tachi, tsuteto. Easy stuff. Ra, ri, ru, re, ro, may be hard, right? Ra, ri, ru, re, ro. May be hard. Kya, kyu, kyo, may be hard. I don't think so, though. I really don't think so. I don't think I've ever met anyone that can't master the accent. Although, I've met amazing speakers and heard about amazing speakers that are even famous within Japan that have a sucky accent. I look at them and go, why are they famous? Their accent's horrible. Because it doesn't matter, right? And you know what Purum said to me today? Oh, Korean is good because it doesn't matter if you mess it up a little bit. That's every language. It's every single language. I will make my English bad a little bit, but understand you still. Even I miss word, even I not have plural, you understand. Even you offend, I try sound like Asian, you still standing under. Okay, that was tough, standing under. Maybe you didn't get that one. But you still understand, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. As a matter of fact, this country is built with people that have bad English accents. Right? So, what can we do to keep the momentum up? What can we do? So I screwed up for a month and a half, right? Didn't do crap for a month and a half. Had feelings of guilt. And felt like, oh man, maybe my whole Korean from zero idea is stupid. No, I didn't think that. I think it's a great idea. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's do this, man. Let's do this together as a team. Saki ni susumo. Saki ni susumo. I'm here in this chat room every single day. Will I answer every question they ask me? No, I won't. Sometimes I'll even see the question and go, oh, I'm too tired. Number one, I don't like to answer it if I'm not doing an Ask a Teacher, because I feel like then I'm giving away an answer to one person and only one person benefits. So a lot of times I don't like to do that, right? But let's do this. Saki ni susumo. Let's move forward. Can you? Can you make a promise to yourself that tomorrow when you wake up, you'll do the Benkyo Sando that we talked about and start your day with some study and end your day with some study? Can you do that? Yeah, you can, and yeah, you should. Because Japanese is not just a language you're learning. It's a different life that you're learning. Think about this. If you're born in America and die in America and never learn another language, the entire rest of the world is shut out to you. Except for the occasional English sitcom TV that you watch on Netflix, and maybe the one Korean drama that you sat through while reading the subtext, or the Japanese anime that you watched. You don't have access to that world. But if you learn Japanese, you have access to culture, music, 130 million people, an entirely different way of government. Everything is different. And it changes your entire perspective. I sat here with Purum last Tuesday, and I watched one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And there's no way it would be funny if I hadn't accessed both of the worlds. What worlds did I access? I know Japanese. I know how Japanese people are. I know how they speak. I know their accents, right? I'm just now learning Korean, people, right? What did I watch? I watched a comedian make fun of Japanese people learning Korean. It was hilarious. It was funny. But I would never have the experience of that. You'll never get the experience of that if you don't enter the worlds. And the only way to enter the world is to learn the language. It's the only way. So take the time, man. I'm not even saying learn Japanese. You know what? If it was just learn Japanese, I could promote that, join the website. I'm saying learn Japan. Learn it. I want to know what makes Korea tick. I sat here with Purum, and on the last Korean from Zero, I showed her picture. And I said something about her in there. I said, she came in these short shorts, and it was kind of sexy. I said that. And I thought, well, I better get permission from Purum to air this because, wow, it's sort of over the top, right? I'm saying things about her that she might not like, right? I'm showing a picture of her without her permission. I showed it to her, and she loved it. But at the time, I was thinking, I don't know anything about Korean girls. I don't know enough to know what makes them tick, right? Or even any Korean person. I don't know what makes a Korean person tick. And guess what? Until you learn more of the Japanese language, you won't know what makes Japanese people tick. I'll tell you something fascinating. By the way, she was totally okay with it. She's like, yeah, you like that picture? Maybe there's a better one. She says, I'm going to show all my friends that video, which I would never expect from a Japanese girl. A Japanese girl would probably say, hazakashi, I'm shy. So, I learned something really, really cool today when we're talking about embracing an entire culture. Because learning Japanese is a lifestyle change, right? I learned something today that was so freaking cool just by learning one Korean word. And I'll try to remember it. So in Japanese, there's two words. There's kangaeru and omou. And it's not, I'm totally off script. I'm sorry. Not that I had a script to start with. But kangaeru means to consider. But it also means to think. All right? Then there's another word that means to think, omou. And people that learn Japanese get these confused all the time. And I didn't want to get them confused. Well, they have the same word to think in Korean, right? And it's senkakhada. Senkakhada. Yeah. And I said, okay, I want to say I think it was Monday. I thought it was Monday, right? This is what I learned, right? So she didn't understand what I meant. She had no clue what I meant. What do you mean? It didn't make sense to her that I was saying think and then pointing to the word. And I even gave her a demonstration. I'm like, look, okay, so it's Tuesday today. Oh, I thought it was Monday. She knew what I was saying in English. Couldn't comprehend it in Korean. Because that's not the word that they use. They don't say think. And then I I went on the Navar dictionary, the neighbor dictionary, right? Which is where I could look up a Japanese word and get the Korean word. And I looked up omo and kangaeru. It's the same word in Korean. And even then she said, no, we don't use that word. I said, well, what do you say when you think it was something? She says it's this, and she gave me another word. It was like I got so many notes. It's alda. I said, what does that mean? She goes, to know. Really? When you thought something, you say you knew? That is so culturally different than Japan. Japan is always very holding back and not saying they know anything. But Koreans say, oh, I knew it was Monday in my mind. Basically, I think is what they say. How cool is that, right? It shows you a different style in the country. It's just, those sort of little things are just fascinating that for all the years that I've known of Korea, the country, I didn't know how those little things, and I know there's hundreds of things like that are going to come up. And you know what? There's hundreds of things that are going to come up in Japanese that are going to blow your mind, and you're going to appreciate your culture, and you're going to appreciate their culture. It's fun. There was a point today, as I was, not to get into much detail, but I was going through these verbs, and I started, after we got back into the verbs, after I learned it's a dog and it's a cat and is it a cat, and my brain got a little bit flowing. I forgot what happened, but something triggered something in my mind. And we got back into verbs. And then I watched a video on YouTube with her. We were trying to see if there was anyone on YouTube that was decent for me to watch. Found a guy that I'd already used. A guy, AdamBusy.com. That guy's my favorite. He knows how to explain things. And he went through verbs a little bit. Then they started clicking, man. And it was like 2 hours after that. We were like going strong through verbs. And I had this moment. This moment happened where I was so happy I almost cried. It's weird, right? It's weird. There's no reason I should be that happy. But it was like, man, I get it. And it's like this, it's like a puzzle that really means something. The Korean puzzle to me means something. And the Japanese puzzle means something to you. Trust me, I remember the Japanese puzzle meaning so much to me. I mean, even now, when I translate a big, long sentence, and I get from the beginning to the end, and I know it was a comprehensible sentence, it's like nirvana for me mentally. It's like dopamine. It's awesome, right? But I was so happy. I had to hold back. I said, let's watch a K-pop video, because I was just too excited in my grasping of what was happening. And I was happy that I had her there helping me, because I could immediately validate. And that's why I really want to say this next thing to you. And I never realized how important this was. But it is the most important thing you can do. Tomodachi o sagase. Chingu in Korean. And I don't know how to... hang on. Find to find. The thing is, now that I'm starting to understand, I'm able to... and I don't think I have that verb, unfortunately. But if I did have it, I would know how to conjugate it, depending on the type of verb it is. Okay, I don't have that. Maybe next week. Maybe on the next Korean from Zero. Anyway, find a friend. And be brave. Be bold. Find them on Facebook. Ask a friend of a friend if he knows a friend who's Japanese. They're out there, and you'll find one. And even if you blow through them, even if they end up hating you, I said this on Korean from Zero the other day, but just move on to the next one. It's cool. Right? Maybe they got bored with you. Eventually you'll find someone that's really fascinated by what you're doing. And eventually your Japanese will be good enough to where you're having these great conversations and they're learning from you. That's sincerely what I hope will happen with me and Parum, is that she gets something out of coming here and I get something out of her. I'm obviously getting something out of her coming here because I'm learning Korean. But that's all I can hope for. And if Parum eventually hates me, what am I going to do? I'll move on to the next person. It's a sad thing for me to say, and I don't want to have to do that. But my goal to learn Korean is strong, and I hope your goal to learn Japanese is as strong. All right, keeping momentum is the topic, right? And I found something that is very therapeutic when you're learning the language, and it is this: benkyou no zairyo. Benkyou no zairyo. The study materials. You do not have to buy a ton of study materials. Materials. You don't have to. Make them. I made these. These are clip art, all right? If you're an artist like Komiyavi, Komiyavi's an artist and she spends time drawing. Why don't you spend a couple hours drawing flashcards for yourself? And then you have a connection to the materials, and you've spent time thinking about these materials. And they'll mean so much more to you. They'll have a lot more value than the flashcard set that you bought from Tuttle or Yes Japan. Here's something I was just curious, I've heard this figure for a long time that in order to become a pro at anything, it requires 10,000 hours. And I thought, well, gosh, if they know that in general, there are probably numbers out there that say how many hours it's required to learn Japanese. And I've seen the numbers before, and I couldn't find the same numbers, but I did find some numbers, and I imagine they're kind of close. And I found out that from some wiki website that Japanese language is considered a Category 3 language, which means it says right here, languages which are quite difficult for native English speakers. Good. It means you'll be one of the rare people that can do it. Woohoo! It won't mean everybody Spanish is not hard for Americans, so there's tons of Spanish speakers. And I talked to a Spanish interpreter one time on the airplane. I was coming home from Cancun for doing interpreting for NTT. He was there, and he was all high on his hog, and he was extremely happy coming off of his job, and we got to talking about interpreting work. And he was sort of a bragger like me. He brags, and I brag. He's like, oh man, you must be doing well. I'm doing well. I go, really? How much are you making a day? He said, yeah, they pay me $300 a day. I go, oh, how about you, man? Because he thought he was higher than me. I guarantee you the way he's told us. I go, oh, it's $850 a day. I'm more rare than him. There's more Spanish speakers out there, right? I'm not $850 a day anymore. The economy is crappy. Right now I'm like $640 a day. All right. Anyway, I found this thing. It says that it's a hard language for native English speakers, which is good, I think. It says 88 weeks it takes. And that means 2,200 class hours, and then they put in parentheses something I think is like stabbing you in the heart. It's like, about half of that time preferably spent studying in country. Yeah, like we got the money and the time to go spend 44 weeks or almost a year in Japan. We really don't if you're an older, mature adult, right? And what does that mean? I sort of divvied up the numbers there. I took 2,200 hours and I divided it by 88 weeks. Came up with 25 hours a week. It's almost a part-time job. It is a part-time job, right? 25 hours a week, and that's an average of 3.5 hours a day. That's what they say, a day. But what do they know? Depends on how much passion you have. It depends on how much Japanese TV, music, culture that you get into. You have to get into all of that if you ever want to learn. And why are you even learning it if you're not into that? Honestly, what are you learning it for? Business? Then learn some key business phrases, and you're not going to, if you don't love Japan, you will not get the language, because it is not just a quickie thing to do. It's going to take a year, 2 years, 3 years. You talk to anyone in this chat room that is good. You talk to V-Spin, who is a Yes Japan member for at least 6 years. He's good. You talk to even Unko-kun. I don't know how long Unko-kun's been around. At least 8 months since he's been in here. That guy's actually really good. And he's asking all of the... Unko-kun, how long have you been on studying Japanese? And I don't mean on Yes Japan, I mean studying Japanese. Who else is in here who's really good? Well, the regulars don't seem to be here, but I didn't really make an announcement about this. This 100, number 100 daily. Okay. So what can you do to keep your momentum? We've talked about a few things. The final thing is this. 人生に取り入れる。人生に取り入れる。Adopt it into your life. Why not? If you... Number one, it's fun to put Japanese into your life. I don't know for how many years I wouldn't sign my name anything but Joji in katakana. That was my thing. I wrote all my notes in high school. Matter of fact, I cheated on my... I'm sorry, Mrs. Christensen. Sorry. I totally cheated on my honors English test. I had all of my Shakespeare notes disguised like a love letter. It said on the top, Dear Yoko, with a heart. And then in katakana hiragana combination, I had all of the key points of the Macbeth play written down. And then at the bottom it said, love, George. And then like a little kiss mark. Yeah, I adopted Japanese into my life pretty well. And for those of you that are in school, trust me, that's a genius freaking method to cheat. Because no one can really check you up on it. There's a lot of effort in a teacher to find out you cheated by writing a love letter in Japanese. Matter of fact, you should get bonus points for having the answers to quizzes in Japanese. And it doesn't even have to be Japanese, right? You could do like, makubesu, right? Knife, right? You put them all in hiragana, katakana. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, I'm going to give you one more hint that I read once. I found, this is the greatest thing. If you're in college, and I've never been to college, let's say you have to submit a report. You have to submit a report to your teacher via email. And it's a Word document, right? And you're nowhere near being done and you need a few days, right? So what you do is, you make a huge Word document, right? With nothing, just crap in it, right? Then you open it up in like a text pad and delete some sections of it. Small sections in various places. Then you resave it, you attach it, and you send it. They won't be able to open it. It'll be broken. And then you'll have a couple more days to get the file fixed for them. Just thank me for that when you have to use that one. I am going to be telling my daughter that one because that's going to be pretty helpful. Well, there you have. I mean, that's really what I wanted to talk about today. Is that just embrace it. Find a friend. I'm having so much fun with Purim, and you'd be surprised who's willing to help. If there's a college in your town, there's probably a Japanese exchange student who's lonely and not doing anything. And Purim has said more than once that she doesn't have friends, really, and she's just at home studying in her apartment. I'm sure she has some Korean friends, but she needs American friends, right? So I believe that will be beneficial to her. And certainly you learning Japanese, it will be very beneficial to your Japanese friend to get the practice, all right? All right, well, that's it. Thank you for watching. There is no Jiko Shokai because no one has submitted one. Sorry. It would have been cool, but we don't got one. You know who you are. And before I mention, now, I did talk about on the Daily 100 doing videos from everyone submitted to what you've learned on Yes Japan. But I haven't released the videos asking for that, and still they're not out. So I did this 100 way too soon. It got to 100. So what we're going to do is, like on 110 or 120, one of those good numbers, we'll go ahead then. And if I have received any videos, if people take the time to shoot one of those off. If not, I get it, man. You're busy, I'm busy. I certainly wouldn't make the time to say, thank you, Korean Class 101, or, because I'm not even using them. But I probably wouldn't do that, so I get it. No hard feelings, it's cool. But please keep submitting your Jiko Shokais, because those are very beneficial to everybody. All right? Anyway, thank you for watching. Yes Japan Daily, number 100. I really look forward to another 100 of these with you guys. Bye-bye.